Good evening, everyone, and welcome here for round 22 of the 2019 Sony Cup Series schedule. We're here for Bathurst for the last race of the Australian Tour, and this track is a very long and fast road course. And nothing like the last road course we were at here in Australia. It was a street circuit last time we were out over at Surfers Paradise, but here at Bathurst, you're climbing up the hill, and you're climbing down the hill, and there's some long straightaways that are allowing these teams to use a lot of their straightaway power, and if you have a really good car down the straights, you're more than likely going to be very quick, and that's what it has been for most of practice and qualifying all race weekend. We've seen the Yamp Motorsports and the Allen Family Racing Team cars, two of the top teams of the series for this year, be right up at the top of the board for most of the weekend. Ryan Griffin, who usually isn't that good on the road courses, he has been in the top 5 in speeds so far for this race weekend. Jordan Davis was up there as well, and how about Chris Dodd qualifying in the top 5, but let's focus to the pole winner. Jake Bassinger, last week's winner at Surfers Paradise, got Turner Performance their first win of the season. He took the pole position. He pipped Jordan Davis by barely in qualifying. They were up about half a second on third place, Ryan Griffin, in qualifying. So this race, we have really 4 drivers right there in the mix of everything. The championship has changed hands. Jordan Davis, who will start second today, is now the new championship leader and is eyeing a 3rd championship of his career. Some new storylines as well. Jeffrey Fenguy has moved up to 3rd in the points. He is very close, 17 points back to Jordan Davis in the title hunt. Jeffrey Fenguy will be retiring at the end of the year. It'll be his last hurrah, and it has been a very great season so far for him. 0 wins on the board, but it has been a career year for Fenguy nonetheless. Ryan Griffin, this has been a great race weekend for him so far. Can he finish it off? He's right there in 3rd. Dejon Weeks, he lost the title lead last weekend. Can he bounce back? This track is very hard to pass on, and it's very fast, so Dejon Weeks is going to have to use that fast race car of his to try and work his way up the order as his title contenders are starting higher up. Let's get you down to the start of the race as we get set and ready to do battle yet again. Round 22, we have 30 races on the calendar, and we're getting ready to close off the end of the year. The end of the year is coming close. The championship is going to heat up, but we're going to look further back. Some drivers didn't qualify well. Jack Callick, he's going to have to come from the rear. Same with Ryan Acosta. They didn't qualify all that well. Cloud9 Racing with a second car this year for this race weekend, the 62. That is Joseph Strigley. And a little further back, Barton Racing Enterprises. Their first race as a team, and a driver for AJ Jones making his first career race a little further back. But rounding the final corner, Jake Bassinger took pole position. How is he going to do? Going to lead Jordan Davis and Ryan Griffin to green. We are racing for round 22. Heading off into turn 1, Jordan Davis trying to make the wide corner, trying to make the long straightaway. Jeffrey Fenguy gets turned. Fenguy got turned off the bumper of somebody, but he saved it. Looks like he hit the barrier there, though. Fenguy gonna have to keep on going. Not where Fenguy wants to be on lap 1 of the race. Zayden Davidson trying to avoid the 92. Luis Hernandez, who qualified very well. There he is, trying to move his way up the running order a little bit. Jeff James qualified well. He's in this race. He will be returning next year, like we mentioned. Dejon Weeks gaining a few positions. Nick Mace underneath of Chris Dodd, trying to move his way up the running order. But up front, Jordan Davis, the title holder, is out in front and has taken the lead from Bassinger. Fenguy looked like he was on pace for qualifying to be in a good position for the race, but Jesse Turner tried to get the inside, slight contact, and you gotta think Turner was just a little too ambitious and turned the 92 around. A title contender nonetheless. This is gonna hurt Fenguy's run today. Dejon Weeks looking to make a move here on Chris Dodd, and the first opening laps has been in Dejon Weeks' favor as he drives wide, and he's going to actually clear Chris Dodd. Dodd's out in the grass just a little bit there. Dodd not known to be a road bringer, but these long straightaways have been really helping this race car. We know the Allen Family Racing Team car, with their engines, they are very quick, and Kyle Collins looked like he may have gotten in the back of Dodd just a little bit, but Dodd, he's made a good start for this race week. He's been pretty quick. But further up, Jordan Davis has got out to a very comfortable lead. Jake Bassinger, last week's winner, has resulted back to 2nd place. Dylan Young, Ryan Griffin, and Nick Mace make up the top 5. A little further back, Kyle Collins and Chris Dodd keep going at it. Collins will get that position away from Chris Dodd as the straightaway goes down. Collins moving his way up to 8th place. The battle for 10th place. Jordan Fisher has it. Matthew Rodriguez wants it. But right here on the inside of the corner is not where you want to be. Heading up the hill because it's not enough grip right there. Rodriguez going to have to fight another day. Dylan Schwellenberg has been the slowest Yamp car for most of the season whenever he's in that 28 car. But he's got a solid car in the top 15. Sean Harple's on his back end. DJ Curtis and Charles Sanford trying to work their way to the top 10 as well. Problems further back. Caleb Hoffman and teammate TJ Martin have tangled down in the corner, heading down to the back straightaway, and Hoffman bottoms the field up. That's going to allow everyone to be right on each other's bumper. And drivers further back. Josh Crash gets hooked by James Shelley. And cars are still trying to weave their way through, but Shelley and Crash get away very well, actually, but they have taken some damage. And who's to say these guys don't get their elbows out there? They bottomed up here, but they are racing really hard with each other. Hey, AJ Jones in his first start here, leading this back for this first race team on lap 1, but they're racing each other hard down in the corner. Jack Hallett contact there with Joseph Shrigley. Shrigley in the part-time, in the backup car for Cloud9 Racing. Cloud9 trying to make a sandwich out of Jack Hallett, make him the meat and the bread in that one. But here it comes Shrigley back at him. They're racing really hard for these guys that usually don't get much screen time. But we're hearing that Ryan Acosta gets bumped here by the 32. Johnny Gardner, he goes wide. Acosta, who spun in qualifying, trying to make his way up. But these guys racing hard with each other. And Jeffrey Fenguy is in the pits in the 92 car. And Fenguy's going to drop down to dead last. Track conditions are going to be very tough this afternoon, making your way up the hill and down the hill. And it's going to be very tough. And you see drivers getting caught out like Luis Hernandez. He really struggled going up the hill and now down the hill. This track is very technique, and you have to have a very good handling race car and also a good car down the straightaway. Matt DeLeo a little further back, also scraping the wall. So cars trying to balance straightaway speed and corner speed and downforce for being able to get down the straightaway very well, because these long straightaways really call for having a car that can really go down the straightaway, but you have to have a car that can turn as well. We have a long ways to go. It is lap 4 of the race out of 32. The title leader is leading with right now getting 50 bonus points. Jeffrey Fenguy is in a no-point situation right now in the 40s. But Jeffrey Fenguy would lead this race about 67 points back in the championship. It has not been the race he would have wanted. He wanted to try and gun for the title lead in this race and to cut into the gap even more so. But Fenguy, tough break with him and Turner on lap 1 of the race, and I'm sure he's not happy with that one. We have a race for third going on. Dylan Young under attack from Ryan Griffin. And how is this going to fare? A Yamp car and an Allen Family Racing car. Side by side, Nick Mays giving a little bit of help to the 43, but up the hill, it has been proven that you need to be running out wide where Ryan Griffin is. Not enough grip out there where Young is, but Young's trying to fight. He's trying to do what he can up there. And Dylan Young, not going to be able to challenge, I don't believe, but up the hill. Young trying to fight, but can't do anything there. Griffin up to third. What a great run for Griffin. This is his best weekend on a road course overall. Like a run he desperately needs to try and make a title bid. He's there in third, now up to third, but Nick Mays there in fourth. We're on lap 7 of the race now. Jordan Davis just took lap 7, and he's about 10 seconds up the road from Jake Bassinger. Bassinger has been very good lately, but he is not on pace with Jordan Davis. Davis was over a second, nearly 2 seconds faster than Bassinger there. So Bassinger's really not got the pace to try and run that one car down. Jordan Davis is on rails, and this is his race to win or to lose, really. It is his day. And he just needs to keep it out of the wall and keep it pointed straight. Jordan Davis, the championship leader, in a prime position this afternoon to extend the gap on his rivals. Matthew Rodriguez very close to Chris Dodd to try and get around him for the 9th position. Rodriguez up the hill, wide, up into the wall. And same thing Luis Hernandez did. And Rodriguez running in the 10th position, gonna have to wait another time. It's been difficult to make passes this afternoon. Ryan Acosta, who wrecked in qualifying, is back here in the 29th position, racing Hayden Klein for 28th. And Acosta, who has a good car, just is not able to get around these guys as quick as he possibly would be able to. That's why qualifying was so important this afternoon. And Acosta, that's why it was so costly for him to start in the back of the field. At this rate, Jordan Davis is lapping near 2 seconds quicker than Jake Bassinger. who is in second place. Jordan Davis is in a cakewalk right now, and he is just pulling the gap, and he is on a Sunday drive. It has not been the Australian Tour that Jack Halleck or any of the Australians really would have wanted. Halleck is down in the 33rd position, looking for Zachary Fitzwater, who hasn't really had the most flashy races here at home. Fitzwater under challenge from Cody Lamas. Fitzwater is in the 21st position. Cody Lamas is looking to take that position away, but not able to get the power down to pass that 22. But Lamas is right there if he makes a mistake. And Zayden Davidson in the 13. He's in 19th, just a little up the road. Not really the most flashy races, but a top 20 run right now on the cards for Zayden Davidson. And Zachary Fitzwater trying to get up there and do the same. Dylan Schwellenberg in the last few laps has really been frustrated with Jordan Fisher here. Fisher has just been in his way, and he's not been able to get around him quite well. He's nearly right on the back bumper of him, but Schwellenberg has the better car here over Jordan Fisher, but he's just not able to make the pass, and it's allowing everyone to get closer and closer to Dylan Schwellenberg. He's looking to try and get to his inside and looking to try and make a pass here, but he's just not close enough to really pull out. But he's trying to get a draft off of him here. He could get him down the straightaway. Here he goes. Dylan Schwellenberg trying what he can, trying to get up into a 211th. Matthew Rodriguez is pulling away from them. So 10th place, they're trying to get up to 10th place, but right here, Fisher knows this is a weak spot for drivers to make a pass there, and Fisher is going to hold on, and here comes Harpel. Sean Harpel looking to get 12th place from Dylan Schwellenberg. The tires are falling off here as they slide around this racetrack just a little bit, but Schwellenberg going to try and put his nose in there and try and stay ahead, but Harpel says nope. He's going to get that position away. He's up to 12th place. Whoa, Schwellenberg sideways. DJ Curtis has been sliding around on his tires as well. He's there in the 14th position, but right behind him, Charles Sanford. He's a two-time winner on the road courses. Unless something amazing happens, he's not winning today. He's got a top 15 run going so far, and that might be all that car is worth. He could have a top 10 run if he can get clear of some race cars. Eric DeMax there trying to make a top 15 run of this day. Bobby Jones is there as well. Jeff James, he'll be returning next year. He is closing in as they continue to race up ahead of him. And then we said earlier that Zayden Davidson and Will Lewis continue to fight off everyone for the final top 20 spots. We mentioned in the pre-race this is a backup car for Cloud9 Racing. They'll be fielding two race cars, trying to field two race cars. They have Joseph Strickly in the race car. They continue to pit here and there to try and make sure the race car is taken care of. And Strickly does look like he's got some right side damage. He may have brushed the wall, so they're trying to treat that race car. But Strickly is keeping that car clean as possible. A little further back, I know this is deep in the field, but Daniel Bouchard and James Shelley have been at each other's throats here in these last few laps. They've been duking it out. Shelley has such a better race car than Bouchard in that Cloud9 car. You can see where they have hit the wall slightly. Nothing but just a little cosmetic damage. Nothing that won't buff off, but the 61 Cloud9 car really defending all they can there. That's the 34th place, and Shelley gives him a little nudge, and there goes Shelley, finally going to try and make do with Bouchard, and Shelley finally, this battle is finally going to end, but Bouchard did a great job to hold Shelley back in that hero car as much as he could. Jeffrey Fenguy continues to try all he can out there. Ever since some guys have came down pit road, Fenguy is into the points. He has 1 point so far. He's in the 39th position. It has not been a good day for Fenguy, but every point is going to matter from here on out. And further up ahead, it looks as though he's going to have AJ Jones, Diego Yepes, Dom Capps, and Daniel Bouchard to try and run down. But Fenguy, he's going to come to pit road and try and undercut these guys. We're hearing that Ryan Griffin nearly lost the race car here trying to get around Jake Bassinger. He's been trying all race and just slides nearly into the wall. That could have been very bad for Bassinger, for Griffin if he would have lost it there. He's having a pretty solid day, but the thing is, Jordan Davis is dominating this race, and he's going to lose more points in this afternoon's race. The drivers racing for 11th position have caught up to Joseph Shrigley. How is this going to fare? Harpel trying to get around, and Shrigley actually helping Harpel get around. Shrigley's up to pace a little bit. Man, Schwellenberg almost went in the grass to try and follow Harpel. Was not able to, but Sean Harpel in the 25 Mace Enterprises car, he is up into 11th. When Jeffrey Fengai was exiting pit road, he ended up coming up right in front of the leaders. Nick Mace tried to get around him, but Dylan Young is going to take advantage of this, and he's going to go to the inside. But Nick Mace trying to go around the outside of Jeffrey Fengai, but that isn't going to prevail here, as Dylan Young going to get a replay of it here. Dylan Young makes his way around Nick Mace. He goes the outside. Fengai kind of holding up Nick Mace. And Dylan Young off in the grass just a little bit, but fights his way past. And Young is back up into 4th place. Nick Mace is on pit road now. He lost some time there, but they are on pit road to make their one and only pit stop of the race. Nick Mace, Chris Dodd, and DJ Curtis are all on pit road. The leader, Jordan Davis, has finally come down pit road. He is up 30+ seconds on 2nd place. And Jordan Davis, I have not seen really an ass whooping like I have today. Jordan Davis has laid it on him, and the point leader has meant business here for round 22. The rest of the leaders are following him in. Bassinger, Griffin, Young, they are all coming down pit road. If there are 2 drivers that I think race relatively alike, it is Griffin and Bassinger. Very determined drivers, very similar race. They race very similar. And they are very talented drivers, to say the least. And Griffin, no doubt, has the faster race car. But Bassinger putting his car where he needs to. How he made that such a good qualifying lap, I don't even know. But Bassinger is trying all he can to hold on to 2nd, because you never know what can happen. Undercutting was not a good call. Nick Mace lost a position to Jesse Turner, so it's gone from bad to worse for Nick Mace, losing a couple of positions. So Nick Mace is going to really need to get after it. Chris Dodd's actually going after Kyle Collins. Side by side, door to door. Dodd's out in the grass a little bit. Whoa, slowing it down. And what a move by Dodd here on a road course. Chris Dodd getting after it, elbows out. Chris Dodd getting around his good buddy Kyle Collins for its position inside the top 10. Problems on pit road for Dejon Weeks and Matthew Rodriguez. They have had to make an extended pit stop. It looks like they're repairing damage. And I don't know the call on that. I probably would not have repaired the damage, but that is going to hurt Dejon Weeks very tremendously. And he is going to lose a lot of valuable time. Same with Matthew Rodriguez and Weeks. He was running in the 7th position. Matthew Rodriguez in the top 10 as well. But those two are going to fall out of the top 10, and from the way it looks, Jordan Davis is going to have the biggest point lead that we have seen all year long, with only 8 races left if it stays like this. Problems going up the hill. Ryan Acosta looks like his engine has broke down in the 45 car, and he is stalled, and everyone, including the leader of Jordan Davis, is right behind these guys. There's Joseph Shrigley, the 1 car Jordan Davis. There's everyone in the line. I've never seen anything quite like this. It's like it's driver's code down there to make sure you guys, everyone better get going before everyone gets parked. There's a black flag that's in place, and there they go. Everyone backing underway. It's like a standing start. And this has evaporated that 30-second lead. I've never seen anything quite like that. But Ryan Acosta broke going up the hill, and Jordan Davis is now, all his lead is gone. Jake Bassinger's got a load challenge right behind him. Ryan Griffin right there too. Dylan Young, Jesse Turner, Nick Mace, Chris Dodd, they are all on top of each other with lap cars side by side up ahead of Josh Crash, Joseph Shrigley. They are side by side. Bassinger trying to cut clear of these guys. Oh, this could be very bad going down the hill. Bassinger trying to shove Crash down the hill, clear of Joseph Shrigley. Shrigley in the 62 car in the Cloud9 colors, just trying to stay clear. Shrigley gets turned off of off of Griffin's back end, but he's going to keep on going. Man, they are all on top of each other. There's Dylan Young trying to get a position on Ryan Griffin. Bassinger still trying to get clear of some of these guys. Jesse Turner right there on the heels of Dylan Young. Young gets past Ryan Griffin. Griffin doesn't need to lose more positions. Jordan Davis didn't lose out a whole lot like I thought he would. Griffin, that power down the straightaway. Look at that power by Ryan Griffin by the Dodge. Man, this was like a restart, like a caution flag or something. Griffin, door to door, side by side with Dylan Young into the corner. There's Jesse Turner there too, trying to get alongside of Dylan Young, trying to get this position back. And Turner is going to get that position away. They're 3 wide with Fisher, Sanford, and Curtis. That is for 10th place. And Fisher in the 2 car looks like he may have an issue there. as more cars come to pit road. Someone further back. Who is that? That is the 62. Oh, further back. Fisher gets turned sideways. He looks like he may have a problem. That was Shrigley in the 62 down pit road, and the 2 cars parked up on the front straightaway. Jordan Fisher is stopped off of turn 4, the last corner. Oh my goodness, and Rodriguez gets held up. There's Jeff James, Zachary Fitzwater. What has happened here on lap 22? Going up the hill, it looks like Ryan Acosta's car just flat out died on him. And some drivers trying to avoid him, but Acosta going up the hill in the racing line holds everybody up. Here it is. Acosta just parks it. Really nowhere to go. The car just slowly comes to a stop up the hill and just struggling up the hill. And the car just finally comes to a halt. And it is Shrigley, Davis, Hoffman, Fenguy lap cars all there. Then it is the lead lap cars. It almost was like driver code or something to just not unfairly go around. It could have, Sanford could have come flying around the outside of that corner and took the race lead. But everybody, fairly enough, stayed in line. And Acosta was hauled back to the pits. And there she goes. Davis gets a flying start up the hill, right where he needed to be, and that was a very flying start. Davis gets clear, but up ahead it is craziness. Shrigley ends up going around off of Ryan Griffin's bumper, and Bassinger's in complete defense mode, as you will come to see. Shrigley in the 62 just trying to stay out of everybody's way. This car isn't the best handling out there in the 62 colors. We're gonna get a replay of that wreck with him. Gonna probably need to get it in a helicopter view. Here it is, Bassinger getting a good run here. Griffin trying to find a way to get around Shrigley and just gets in the right rear, spins him up the wall. Very slight contact for Shrigley, and he just keeps on going. But as soon as Griffin makes contact with Shrigley, you can see contact here with Griffin, Young, and Turner. And Dodd and Mace also made contact, but they were racing hard down the hill. And Young was able to eke out ahead of Griffin. He thought he was going to have this position made. I thought so, at least. He looked like he had a good exit there, Dylan Young did. But it just started right there. That was his line there. But the 43 is so fast down the straightaway. And Griffin came flying back. And Griffin was able to get this pass done on Dylan Young. And Jesse Turner followed him through. And wow, look at that. Jesse Turner makes that position made, but also more drama further back as Jordan Fisher in the 2 car suddenly has a power failure in the 2 car right in front of Weeks and Lewis there. And Fisher nowhere really to go. He's trying to find a way to park up. He makes contact with Davidson and just comes to a stop right there on the front stretch. And everybody parks up behind him just like they did up the hill. Nick Mays also trying to get around Dylan Young here. Got a good exit here. Looking to get around Dylan Young, pinching down a little bit. And Nick Mace is up another position. He's up in the top 5 now. Whoa, Chris Dodd tried to follow him through, but he hit the barrier. And Dylan Young's going to hold Chris Dodd back. And Dodd, a little over antsy, trying to make that pass work on the outside, but couldn't quite make it work. Nick Mace has traffic up ahead of him. Josh Crash is racing Jeffrey Fenguy door to door. And Josh Crash in the Fitzwater Australian car trying to overtake a Fenguy Saitomi machine. And Josh Crash trying to get 36th position from Jeffrey Fenguy. They're still side by side. Nick Mace is able to get that position away. But Fenguy, does he have a problem of some sort? The 29 of Josh Crash, his old teammate of last year, going around the outside of him. Contact up into Jeffrey Fenguy. They have wrecked. Chris Dodd's in there. The leaders have all crashed in him as well. Fenguy trying to get going. Crash got spun into DJ Curtis there as well. Dejon Weeks, the championship contender, second in the points, is involved in that too. Josh Crash was getting real racy with Jeffrey Fenguy, as you can see, going down into the final corner. And you can see Dylan Young getting a little bit over ambitious. And there it is. Chris Dodd goes spinning. Kyle Collins gets a piece of it. But who really won out of that was Charles Sanford and Eric DeMax. Up ahead, second place, Jake Bassinger is in trouble here. Ryan Acosta's on his outside. And Acosta just came out of pit road. And Ryan Griffin's going to try and make this work. Jake Bassinger's on the outside, not really where you want to be, going up the hill. Ryan Griffin trying to take second place from Jake Bassinger. Looks like he will. Gonna try and pinch him down, and Ryan Griffin is up into second place. This race has just gone to absolutely chaotic. The Turner Performance cars are still trying to gang up on Ryan Griffin to try and take second place back. Jordan Davis has stretched back out to about a 10-second lead. But Griffin and the 43 gonna keep Bassinger off. Jesse Turner's gonna have a go, and he's gonna move up into third place. DJ Curtis recently has just worked his way into the top 10. He's gotten his way around Kyle Collins. Dylan Young is all over Nick Mace for this position. Mace is gonna be able to hold Dylan Young off for now, but the lap car, Diego Yepes, who was on pit road for quite a while. I thought he actually retired from the race, but Nick Mace under fire again. Oh, contact in the S-bin, and Nick Mace and Dylan Young have crashed. Joseph Shrigley, I think that is, yes it is, has piled in as well. And that might be his race done in the 62 car. But Young in the 88, and the 24 of Charles Sanford. Nick Mace gets back and underway, but he is very slow. Looks like he may now have an issue with the 48 car. And indeed he does. Nick Mace very slow and off the pace, and he will probably have to come down pit road. A top 5 day, a top 10 run is going to go to smokes. And there he goes, Nick Mace. He's going to go out of the race, and it's going to lose a top 10 run. Amazingly, Dejon Weeks is back in the top 10. I thought his race was over. I thought he was going to lose a whole lot of points, but he is slowly climbing his way back up due to others' misfortunes. Dejon Weeks is going to try and get another position here to the inside of DJ Curtis. Curtis shuts the door. Curtis trying to get a top 10 run, even though he'll still have a top 10. Even if Weeks gets by, he wants to have a 9th place finish this afternoon. But Weeks took a peek, tried to get around Curtis, but to no avail. As Jordan Davis rounds the final corner to take the white flag in this race. We're going to put this race out of our misery. And it has been a crazy race. A very wild one for sure. More than 10 seconds up the road. He had more than 30 seconds at one point. But Davis over Ryan Griffin right now would gain 4 points if it's going to finish this way, and it looks like it will. Looks like Griffin is going to move up into second place in the point standings after this one. And he's ran a pretty solid afternoon. Jesse Turner there in third. Fourth, Jake Bassinger so far. Fifth place is Dylan Young, who's been all over the place. He's actually been on the wall and spun around. He's there fifth. Sanford beat up there in sixth place. Eric DeMax there in seventh. Chris Dodd, he's been beat up as well. He's in eighth. Curtis still holds ninth over Dejon Weeks. Let's look over some of our title contenders. Jeffrey Fenguy in the 92, not in the top 10. He's in 34th position, and nobody really close that he's going to be able to pass. So he's going to get 6 points this afternoon, while Jordan Davis looks to just put a beating on him this afternoon. He has been super quick. It has been a phenomenal race for him, but a miserable race for many drivers. Jordan Davis has had a blistering fast Yamp Motorsports Ford, and as he comes down the final back straightaway, long stretch down the hill and up this little hill here, it's going to be his second win of the season and his 11th career Sony Cup Series victory, and he will be extending his championship lead even more. Jordan Davis looking for a third title this year. Can he do it? Jordan Davis is going to have the biggest title lead we have ever seen in 2019 so far. Through the final corner, Jordan Davis dominates the race here at Bathurst. And what was probably the worst race I've ever had for this season. Jordan Davis officially your winner so far, unofficially really, but crosses the line first. Second for Ryan Griffin. Jesse Turner comes home in third. Bassinger in fourth. Dylan Young will get fifth unless he just completely breaks down, which wouldn't be surprised how this race has gone. He's going to get the final top 5 spot. And Charles Sanford rounds from home for 6th. 7th, Eric DeMax. 8th, Chris Dodd. And further back, 9th is going to go to DJ Curtis, and Dejon Weeks gets a top 10 day when I thought it would have been all bad for him. That is it, really, as we see the rest of everyone coming back around. There's Will Lewis, Matthew Rodriguez, they get 11th and 12th. Zayden Davidson should be coming by any moment now for the 13th position in his 13 FedEx Ford. There he is with Fitzwater. Fitzwater gets 14th here in Australia. And the final top 15 position is Sean Harple there in the 25 car. PJ Williams, Jeff James, Cody Lamas there you see. TJ Martin and Matt DeLeo all just went by to make up the top 20. So that is it here for Bathurst. That was the round. A very crazy one. Golly, that was wild. If you wouldn't believe it, I actually reran this race, and it actually wasn't as crazy as the last time I did it. But, wow. Jordan Davis. A fantastic race for him. He extends the championship lead. This is going to be the biggest championship lead to second place that we have seen by any driver at any point all season long. Jordan Davis is sitting pretty, but we know things change on a dime, and you have to be perfect throughout the season. And we have 8 races left until we crown a champion. Jordan Davis, can he win the 3rd championship? He's extended his lead, and he's won for the 2nd time this year. Let's get you to our finishing results and standings after round 22.